Honey, this is Neptunia, and you're listening to the St. Canard Files, a Darkwing Duck podcast. Don't forget to not use the ocean for your garbage dump, because if you do, I won't get mad. I'll get furious. Member of Team Justice Duck signing out. By the way, I'm not a duck.
Welcome to the St. Canard Files, the Darkwing Duck podcast. I'm your host, Will Santana. Unfortunately, my other host couldn't make it today, Mike Russo, but I got someone with a little more juice than him today. I got the legendary voice actor. You know what? Voice acting is kind of a disrespect to her because she's also a singer, she's an actress, she does voiceover for video games, and I also found out she plays musical instruments. And I'm talking about the legend Susan Silo. Welcome, Susan.
Well, thank you. I was trying for a dramatic entrance. You know what I mean? I'm not a duck. Hi. It's lovely to be with you, Will. It really, really is. Thank you for taking an interest.
Oh, thank you, Susan. As a Darkwing Duck fan, we had to get you on here. We've had Michael Bell on here. We've had Sherry McGovern, Katie Lee for voice actresses, but we've also had some of the animators and some of the writers on here. And you're part of Team Justice Duck, so you're legendary to Darkwing Duck fans because of 3 major episodes, especially the 2 against the Fearsome 5.
Oh, marvelous. What an outstanding cast.
But before we get into Darkwing, which I know my listeners, that's what they want to hear, before we get into Darkwing, can you tell us a little bit about your background? Because, man, your background is just ridiculous, like from Jerry Lewis, and I heard you even use Judy Garland's dressing room and stuff. Can you give us some about your childhood and upcoming?
I would love to. I was born in New York, and as I like to say, I was born in a trunk. My parents were in the business. My father, a very wonderful, talented Broadway and television movie character actor, John Silo. And my mother was an actress until I kind of took off and was doing my thing. Let's see, I started at 4. I started at 4 years of age, and I was on stage with my parents doing vaudeville acts when that was kind of a marvelous thing happening in the Catskills, the Borscht Belt, as they called it. And I then became a single at 8 years of age, which means I had my own act and sang. I was what they call a canary, a singer. And then what you're talking about, Judy Garland's dressing room, at 12, I headlined at the Palace Theater in New York and had Judy Garland's dressing room. I then went on to become a rock and roller with the hit song Dear Diary, which you can look up, anybody can look up and hear it. And Don't Ever Cheat was the flip side, and it was a huge hit. And did Dick Clark's Bandstand, and there I was, 13 years of age. Yeah, and as a rock and roller, I did a lot of record hops, the Dick Clark's Bandstand, and going on and on and on all over the country. Came back to New York and went on to the Sammy Kaye Show on television. You'll swing and sway with Sammy Kaye on ABC. So I did that, basically again as a singer. And then I was in the original West Side Story.
Oh, wow.
Yes, sir. So I sang, I danced, I did all of that. At the same time, studying, which I did from 6 to 16 at the Musicians Guild as a concert pianist. So there I was, just doing nothing in my spare time. So then I moved on to L.A. My father moved because of the acting business in television was moving to California. And so there I was in California and started my career in every episodic television show you've ever seen. and I'm going to cut to the chase, but, aside from Batman, Love Boat, la, 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 it was like just an amazing career that I've had on camera. And then, go ahead.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I was just going to ask you, how did you even get into Batman? Because weren't you Mousey, Riddler's girlfriend on there?
Yes, I was the Riddler. I was, Frank Gorshin's girlfriend, the Mousey on the Riddler. And it was an amazing time. We had no idea how fantastic it would be and live forever. I still go to Batventions. Everyone knows who I am. And, of course, now with the voiceover work that I've been doing, they don't know which autograph to get. Is it Mousey or something from one of my animation shows or movies? It's been a stellar career.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the thing is, with that Batman, that show is came out when my father was just a child. And, it's just crazy that, I was still watching that in the late 80s and mid-90s. I was still watching that Batman show. That thing's gone on for decades.
Bless you. Yes, decades. But, of course, I'm still the same age. I have
Oh, man. So you started voice acting. When did you get into Hanna-Barbera? That seems like to be the start off for a lot of the voice actors we've interviewed so far.
It was.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it was. Let's see. I think the first show that I did was either The Smurfs or Hey, It's the King. Hey, It's the King was with a wonderful voice director, Ginny McSwain, who did Darkwing Duck.
Mm-hmm.
And she's brilliant. She's brilliant, and she brings out the best in all of the wonderful actors that work for her. She's incredible. And so we met at Hanna-Barbera, and she was still acting. And then under Gordon Hunt, Helen Hunt's father, who was a wonderful director, animation director, and other things too, he took Ginny under his wing, and she became a fabulous director. And I did many shows, starting with the Smurfs, etc. Hey, It's the King. I did a lot of work at Hanna-Barbera, and it was delightful.
I used to love the Smurfs when I was a kid growing up in the 80s, but I've spoken to a few of the animators at some of the conventions, and it seems like the Hanna-Barbera animators, they seem to hate the Smurfs. They said it was a lot of work for them.
Well, maybe it was, but the work that they did was beautiful artwork.
Oh, yeah. I remember I was interviewing... Yeah, I remember I was interviewing Tom Cook, and he had mentioned a scene in the Smurfs, and he said it was just so frustrating because it was they were playing tug of war. So he said he had 6 Smurfs on one side, 6 Smurfs on the other side, and he said to move those Smurfs back and forth, he said it was so much work.
They did. They were incredible. The people do not realize what the work behind the scenes is, as most things are. For animation, for on camera, we don't give the crew a lot of credit for what they do. They make us look good. I'll tell you, they make us look good. We animate, first we do the recording of the voice, and then the animation follows, and they go, oh my God, they're doing that. We have to animate that.
Oh, man. Now, before we get into Darkwing, I still got to name drop a few shows because I feel like this interview is not going to do you justice. It's kind of disrespectful, not even because your resume is just outstanding. It's just beyond what I could even imagine when I was looking you up. But I wanted to mention Curious George, Adventures in Odyssey, which you also worked with another fellow Darkwing Duck member, Katie Lee, on that.
Katie Lee, she's adorable. She is such a beautiful soul. What a wonderful talent Katie is. We've been friends for a million years. We worked on Adventures in Odyssey. Yes, we did. and lovely people. That's a lovely company to work for. And Meg Whitman and I worked together. You know Meg Whitman, who is now doing fantastically. I was at Meg Whitman's shower before she was born. And Meg Whitman is doing very, very well. But Katie's a doll, and yeah, we did a lot of good shows together, yes.
Yeah, for any listener that plays video games, especially zombie video games, you might have heard Susan. When I looked you up, Susan, you're all over the zombie video games.
Oh, well, the point is that I'm probably one of your best zombies you've ever met. Oh, yeah. Doesn't that frighten you a little bit? By the way, I did a movie called The Right, with Anthony Hopkins. I mean, Anthony Hopkins obviously was the star on camera, not me, but I was the voice of the woman who was possessed. And it's a very scary movie. My agent wouldn't even go see it because she says it's too scary. I'm not going to listen to you doing that. And people said, the director, whom I adored, said, I can't believe what comes out of your body. I really cannot. It's just incredibly weird. I love doing that. I love doing those dark, crazy things. Yeah.
Now,
and don't forget Biker Mice from Mars. I was Dr. Carbuncle on that one. Mm-hmm. And Tommy T, the producer, said, and creator, said, you know, I can't believe it. She's a woman, but she has this guy singing her. And it's the voice I heard in my head when I created this.
Oh, man. All right, Susan, let's go ahead and get into the terror that flats in the night. Let's go ahead and get into some Darkwing Duck now.
Okay.
All right.
Oh, but wait a minute. Before, let's support Curious George, because we're trying to shoot the next season again. And I play Nettie Paschetti, Chef Paschetti's wife. Jim Cummings is Chef Paschetti. And keep your fingers crossed, guys, that we can, up it and start again to give you some more beautiful episodes of Curious George. Okay, I got my commercial. Go ahead.
Well, you'll get the support of the Darkwing fans because you're Neptunia, and then you said Jim Cummings. That's automatic. You're going to get their support.
Oh, yeah. Come on. He's my husband. He's my husband.
Okay, well, Susan, you were only in 3 episodes of Darkwing, but...
Except that I was there. Don't forget that I was there on camera, but I wasn't. You didn't hear my voice.
Oh, okay. Your voice is on 3 episodes that the fans are aware of. And but even though you're only on 3 episodes, all 3 are iconic, especially the 2 with the Justice Ducks, where you become one of the team members. But before we get into the Justice Ducks, let's get into your origin episode, which is called Something Fishy. And on that episode, you come off as presented to the audience as a bad guy until like halfway through the episode, where Launchpad, voiced by Terry McGovern, he's kind of starting to see both sides of the character. Did you know like all this was happening when you were auditioning or hired for Neptunia, that you were going to kind of come off as a bad guy at first?
Oh, no. We don't know anything like that. We go in and we get, for auditions, we get a script of what they think they want, with maybe sometimes a drawing of a character. And we just take off with that, but the story comes later.
Oh, okay.
I never know the story, and then I find out, oh my gosh, I'm a bad girl, but then, maybe I'm a good girl. Maybe I'm a bad, which for an actor is fabulous.
Yeah.
Because it gives us a chance to play. We go, I didn't know that. I mean, it's kind of, I'm sorry to say this because I was on soap operas too. I was on The Young and the Restless, and it's like, I never knew what was going to happen to my character until the next day.
Man, it's amazing that you mentioned Jim Cummings with Curious George, because on Darkwing, it seems like you guys can't stand each other. It seems so real, the hatred you guys have for each other on on the cartoon series, you know?
Oh, well, I can't tell you this. I really can't tell you this. But we were having an affair. Morgana was...
Yeah. Oh, man. So,
no, we do. We're great. You know, to work with somebody like Jim Cummings, and in those days we could work off of each other. We don't do that so much anymore now. Of course, I don't know what we're going to do, but we used to be in a group working together, and we would play off of each other. Ensemble. Yes.
Okay, yeah.
The lovely word. What a lovely word that's going to be history.
Well, you know, halfway through that episode, though, you know, the fans start to see your perspective, you know, where you're getting punished in the ocean and Darkwing's not looking at your perspective and you're not looking at his perspective. So it takes Launchpad to bring you two together. But, you know, and then it finally, you know, the audience sees you guys as the good guys, both of y'all, you know, and y'all finally team up together. And then they bring you back finally for that Justice Ducks episode where you're one of the 5 superheroes like the Avengers. Did you ever know that was happening? Like you were being part of that team?
Never.
You never knew that?
I'm telling you, they keep us in the dark. You can ask anyone who does a series on camera or off camera, as we do, that they just surprise us. I think that's part of an element for an actor that's terrific because we like the excitement of throw it at me. You know, let me see what I'm going to be now. You know, test me. I love that. I love the challenge. And we step up to the plate, man. We have no idea. We come into the studio and there's the script and we go, whoa, look at what's happening here.
Now, before we started recording, you mentioned Michael Bell, who also plays in Darkwing Duck. What was it like working with Michael Bell?
Oh, heaven. Just heaven. I mean, what a pro. I've known him since I'm like a little girl. This man is, talk about iconic and talk about so many things that he does. He's an animal rightist. He's an everything rightist. He's a dear, dear human being and a magnificent talent and a really terrific friend. We just sent each other something, as a matter of fact. So I adore him and I adore his talent. I'm so grateful to be in the voiceover business. The people in the voiceover business are incredible actors. I want people to really understand this. We are not voicing. We're doing really great acting. Great acting.
Oh, wow. Now, Susan, what do you have going on with your career? Because you mentioned several things before we started recording. Like also, like what can the fans anticipate from you?
Oh, hope a lot. I hope a lot. We're a little stymied with this crisis that we're having. Where am I going to record? How am I going to record? They want me. I'm delighted that my career still goes very, very strong, and I am a regular character on Curious George as well as some others, and I'm just wondering where we're going to go with this. What to expect? The best of Susan Silo and the best of Neptunia, the best that I can give the way the industry is going now because of the changes that will happen. But we're going to still be there for you. We're going to still act. I will never, I mean, that's it. That's what I do. I act and I give you, I hope, a lot of laughs, a lot of joy, you know, and that's what I'm going to continue to do for the rest of my time here on this earth.
Yeah, if the world ever gets back rolling to normal, we can get put past this corona. Will the fans ever have access to you at conventions so they can get autographs, photos with you and stuff?
Yeah, I'm considering that. I just feel that I wouldn't be as, unfortunately, close as I was to people. I feel right now, of course I'm feeling this way. I don't know how they're going to cure this problem. However, what I will say is that I will always love my fans virtually. That's no problem. But as far as physically, I would hope that they could come and see me in person for what they remember on camera, and then to hear my voice and see me perhaps 6 feet away and go, wow, you're really real, and you
Mm-hmm.
belong to us. I do. I belong to all my fans.
Okay. Now, Susan, before we wrap this up, I had a fan on Instagram. Her screen name on Instagram is Saturday Morning Girls, and she told me to tell you she loves you, and she's posted you on her page several times with some of your characters on her Instagram page.
Oh, how lovely.
And then we have one on Facebook, Felicia McNamara. She also told me to tell you she loves you, and she says hi.
Oh, will you please send love back? I do not do Facebook. I'm sorry, I just don't do Facebook. But please, anyone that contacts you, please let them know I love them back, and thank you so much for their support. And I am going to continue to do my work, honey. I'm going to do whatever I can to just, do whatever I can for everybody.
Now, Susan,
I just love what I do. I can't stop it. It pours out of me.
Now, Susan, is there any way the fans can reach you? Or you said you don't have Facebook, but do you have any social media, Twitter or Instagram? Because you were actually pretty tough for me to find.
I may do something now that the life is changing. I'm kind of a private gal, I love you, but I love all my fans from afar. And I don't mean to brag, but I do have a lot of fans. And it becomes a little bit overwhelming for me.
Mm-hmm.
So I just say, you know what, I do have still my website, and you can email me, and that would be, fine. I usually answer, or I have my assistant answer if I'm overwhelmed, and if they want something, I usually accommodate. But it's hard to keep up with all of it, and now, of course, we're really challenged.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll do whatever I can to be in contact, and just tell them, please follow my career, because I will post it on my website, which shows I'm doing.
Okay, and I'll make sure to post it on our Darkwing Duck page too for our podcast. We have way over 1,000 followers. Yeah,
that's lovely. That's absolutely lovely, and you're terrific, Will. I have to say, you're very kind, and your generous friend Mike and his lovely wife Elizabeth. Thank you for all the help tonight to try and get this podcast going, because I believe in this, and I wish the best for you in all your endeavors. Please do stay in touch.
All right, guys. So that's Susan Silo, a.k.a. Neptunia. She's in the building, but she's not a duck. Remember, she's not a duck. All right.
I am not a duck.
Susan, anything you want to say? One last thing before we sign off?
I just want to say thank you, Will, for all that you do to keep all of this alive. All of us in the industry appreciate you all, because you keep us alive.
Oh, thank you, Susan. All right, guys, so that's up for this interview. This is for this podcast, the Flashquack. And remember, stay dangerous.